Have you ever opened your banking app, looked at your account for a few seconds, felt your heart rate go up, and immediately closed it? Or maybe you've told yourself you'll make a budget this weekend, only to find every excuse possible to put it off. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know something important: you are not alone. Millions of people struggle to manage their finances, and it's not because they're lazy or bad with money. The truth is, personal finance is mentally demanding. We aren't taught how to manage money in school, yet we're expected to understand budgeting, taxes, insurance, credit scores, debt, investing, retirement, and dozens of financial products the moment we become adults. Then we add the stress of paying bills, raising families, unexpected emergencies, inflation, and constantly changing prices. It's no wonder so many people feel overwhelmed. Society often makes it seem like financially successful people have everything figured out, but the reality is that almost everyone has struggled with money at some point. The difference isn't intelligence. The difference is having systems that make financial decisions easier. You don't need to become a financial expert overnight. You simply need a better approach that works with your brain instead of fighting against it. Once you understand why money feels stressful, you'll stop blaming yourself and start building systems that make financial success much more achievable. One of the biggest reasons managing money feels difficult is because your brain wasn't designed for today's financial world. Thousands of years ago, humans focused on immediate survival. Food, shelter, safety, and community mattered far more than planning 30 years into the future. Today, however, we're expected to make decisions that affect our retirement decades from now, while also paying bills due next week. That creates a conflict between our natural instincts and modern financial responsibilities. Psychologists often refer to this as preferring immediate rewards over delayed rewards. Spending money today feels good because your brain receives an instant emotional reward. Saving or investing for the future doesn't provide that same immediate feeling, even though it creates far greater benefits over time. On top of that, managing money requires what psychologists call executive function. This is the part of your brain responsible for planning, organizing, prioritizing, and making complex decisions. Every time you review your budget, compare bills, think about debt, or decide how much to save, you're asking your brain to process a tremendous amount of information. If you're already tired from work, raising children, or handling everyday responsibilities, your brain naturally looks for ways to avoid additional stress. That's why many people procrastinate when it comes to finances. It isn't because they don't care. It's because their brain is trying to conserve mental energy. Understanding this is incredibly important because it changes the conversation from self-criticism to self-awareness. Instead of thinking, "I'm terrible with money," you begin asking, "How can I make managing money easier?" That question leads to better habits and better financial systems. Avoiding your finances may provide temporary relief, but it almost always creates bigger problems later. Think about what happens when you ignore a small issue around your home. Maybe it's a tiny water leak, a warning light in your car, or a loose board on your deck. Those problems rarely fix themselves. Instead, they usually become more expensive and more stressful the longer they're ignored. Money works exactly the same way. Ignoring bills can lead to late fees. Avoiding credit card balances allows interest to grow. Not checking your accounts may cause you to miss fraudulent charges or unnecessary subscriptions. Delaying savings means missing years of potential investment growth. The longer financial decisions are postponed, the more complicated they become. Unfortunately, that creates a cycle. Money becomes stressful, so we avoid it. Avoiding it creates more stress, making us want to avoid it even more. Breaking that cycle starts with changing your expectations. You don't have to solve every financial problem today. You simply need to stay engaged consistently. Small improvements made every week create enormous results over months and years. The goal is progress, not perfection. Financial success isn't built by one perfect budgeting session. It's built through small, repeated actions that become habits over time. Once you stop treating personal finance like a test, you either pass or fail. It becomes much less intimidating. It becomes an ongoing project that you improve little by little. That mindset shift alone can reduce a tremendous amount of financial anxiety. If willpower alone worked, everyone would already have perfect finances. The real solution is creating systems that reduce the number of financial decisions you have to make. Start with what I call the 15-minute rule. Instead of trying to organize your entire financial life in one afternoon, schedule just 15 minutes once each week. During those 15 minutes, review your account balances, upcoming bills, savings progress, and recent spending. That's it. When the timer ends, you're done. Keeping the sessions short prevents your brain from feeling overwhelmed. Next, simplify your financial tools. If complicated spreadsheets make you anxious, don't use them. A notebook, a simple budgeting app, or a basic checklist is often more effective than an advanced financial spreadsheet you'll never open. Another powerful system is automation. Set up automatic bill payments, automatic transfers into savings, and automatic retirement contributions whenever possible. Every decision you automate is one less decision your brain has to make. Finally, create a financial routine. Maybe every Sunday evening you spend 15 minutes reviewing your finances. When money management becomes part of your weekly routine, it feels much less intimidating. Successful people don't necessarily have more discipline than everyone else. They simply build systems that make good decisions easier and bad decisions harder. That's exactly what we're trying to accomplish with your finances. One of the biggest transformations you can make is changing how you think about money itself. Too many people view their finances as a source of guilt, embarrassment, or fear. They avoid opening bills because they don't want bad news. They avoid budgeting because they're afraid of discovering they've made mistakes. But your bank account isn't judging you. Your budget isn't grading you. These are simply tools that provide information. Information isn't good or bad, it simply helps you make better decisions. Imagine trying to improve your health without ever stepping on a scale or visiting a doctor because you were afraid of what you might learn. That wouldn't help you become healthier. The same principle applies to money. Looking at your finances isn't admitting failure. It's taking responsibility for your future. Every financially successful person started somewhere. Most made mistakes. Most experienced setbacks. The difference is they kept learning instead of giving up. Financial confidence grows every time you make one small positive decision. Maybe today it's reviewing your accounts. Next week it's creating a savings goal. Next month it's paying off one debt. Over time, those small wins completely change your relationship with money. Instead of feeling fear every time you think about finances, you begin feeling confidence because you know you have a plan. If you've struggled with managing your finances, remember this: you're not failing because you're incapable. You're facing something that challenges almost everyone. Personal finance combines psychology, habits, emotions, math, long-term planning, and everyday decision-making. That's a lot for anyone to manage. But the good news is, you don't have to master everything overnight. Start with one simple habit. Schedule 15 minutes this week to review your finances. Automate one bill. Transfer a small amount into savings. Create one financial goal. Small actions repeated consistently create incredible results over time. Don't compare your financial journey to someone else's highlight reel. Focus on becoming slightly better than you were last month. That's how lasting financial success is built. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. What's the biggest challenge you face when managing your finances? Your story might encourage someone else who's struggling with the same thing. Keep learning, keep improving, and remember that every small financial decision matters, because we are building real financial progress, one step at a time. If you're ready to stop avoiding your finances and start taking control of your money, subscribe to the Daily Yield for practical strategies that make budgeting, saving, investing, and paying off debt simpler than ever. Comment below. 15 minutes if you're committing to spending just 15 minutes this week working on your finances.